Can you explain why now it works? That's weird. And we're back. Hello, everybody.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Yeah, we know we, that fucking thumbnail.
That's our special guest tonight.
If only.
Oh, crazy eyes Karen.
You know what? In all honesty, I really would like to talk to her because it seems to me that...
You think she's taken out of context sometimes?
No, actually, I think it's the opposite. I don't think she ever gets any pressure put on her. Because when she does, she just attacks and dismisses. And it's like... And again, I wouldn't want to be a dick about it. But I would just be like, no, really, help me understand where you're coming from. Because I think you got into office because your opponent, who didn't even show up for your debates, would have probably mopped the floor with you if he'd actually shown up to debate you, having heard her speak on numerous things over the years. I think she would have been demolished by a seasoned politician. But the seasoned politician didn't bother to show up.
Kind of defeats the purpose there, huh? And actually, I have seen a clip where she was challenged, and she just basically, she didn't necessarily shut down, but she was just kind of like, so I mean, she did shut down, per se. But anyway, it was actually, she was in a Congress meeting, and they were talking to a border control
I've seen that.
The big guy, and he was 100%.
Former director,
and he was 100% legit. And he basically, she's like, oh, da, 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 and he goes, ma'am, he goes, they're not legal asylees. Remember that. Oh my God.
And I'll be honest, in that particular example, ICE is a touchy subject with me because there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the curtain. It's not very clear. The process is not transparent.
ICE also does a lot of other stuff other than just border.
Correct. And I don't think it's fair to cast them in a completely negative light, but I also don't think it's fair to say that, oh, ICE never does anything wrong. Here's the thing, though. It's the law.
That guy was literally reading her the law, and she just could not handle it.
Well, again, so her problem is,
she's ignorant of the law.
Well, it's not just that she's ignorant of the law, because she knows a lot about the law in some respects, because there are people who... I think persecution's an appropriate word.
I think you got a thing for...
No, not. See, here's the other thing.
You got a thing for those crazy eyes.
You know that song's Hungry Eyes, right?
Well, I changed it.
'Cause she's got those crazy eyes.
See, there you go. Now it works.
She looks at me and I hide the knives.
You totally want her.
No, actually, I don't, and that's...
You want her to pay you instead of her boyfriend.
So you know about that too. That was actually something I was just reading about.
And nothing, and it was never looked into.
Barely. Not looked into.
Barely.
See, here's and technically she didn't pay him. Her campaign did.
Regardless, it's her campaign. She should know all the
Basically, okay. So basically, what happened? I mean, it's $6,000. It ain't.
No, dude. It was a couple grand. It was quite a bit of money. It was not just $6,000. It was a staggering amount of money to the boyfriend.
You're right. The $6,000 payment was made by the super PAC that was created by the gentleman who would eventually become her chief of staff before he resigned start the PAC.
And he did get in trouble for that, right? I can't remember. Not kind of like, oh, bad boy.
Like most politicians do, and granted, that's on both sides of the aisle. But what was I? So the thing is, I've often, and I will say, I've come to her defense on a couple of occasions. I honestly can't remember.
It makes me sick.
I can't remember what was said, but I saw a couple of people, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but
oh yeah, that's the worst when when you're forced to defend someone you just don't like
because you care about the truth.
Yeah.
And it's like, I jumped, and to be fair, when we did the AOC at the Met Gala episode, I jumped down Marjorie Taylor Greene's throat for being a fucking idiot. And every time I go to bat for her, because she was on Tim Pool's podcast, Marjorie Taylor Greene, not AOC. And on there, she sounded quasi-reasonable, albeit a little misguided and naive, but, reasonable. And then she goes on the fucking House floor and starts talking again. I'm like, God damn it.
She's got decent ideas, but the thing is, there's no way for her to get these ideas through.
She has got to.
They are wild. They are wild.
Yeah, she's got to think before she speaks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
AOC as well.
Well, yeah, true. This
is a perfect example of two crazy fucking people on both sides of the aisle.
The examples of the extreme, yes. And then you have moderates don't get any airtime because they're still open to compromise, which, as far as I can tell, has become a lost art in politics, I think around the world, honestly, but particularly in the United States. A lot of these issues could be solved with not solved, but they could be lessened with a little bit of compromise. The Roe v. Wade overturning is a prime example of that.
Mm-hmm.
There could be some compromise that most reasonable people, 80+%, would be like, okay, this is acceptable. We can work towards something, not just Roe v. Wade, but even immigration reform, economic reforms, all this stuff. It could be worked towards. What are you pulling up?
Arrested.
Arrested? Oh, AOC getting arrested. This is hilarious. That was funny. Which, my main point of tonight was pointing out, I think I've said on the podcast, but she was elected before we started the podcast, I believe. I had said when she got elected, I was like, good for her. I hope that she can, I hope she brings about actual change. I hope she's not overly naive and blah, 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 blah. And I was proven extremely wrong.
Yes, you were.
And the advice I would have given her was, you're new to Congress, sit down, shut up, and listen. Which is, to be fair, that's advice I would give any new member of any organization. Sit down, shut up, listen, learn.
Listen, Linda.
Listen. Unfortunately, she seems so married to the ideology that she loves and holds dear that she's unwilling to learn about the world, which I find hilarious because she got a degree in economics. The fuck?
What? I'm just fucking with shit.
She got a degree in economics. What? How?
Don't get me started on that because I don't understand how.
And she graduated cum laude in economics.
Kung Lao.
Not Kung Lao. Not Kung Lao. Cum laude.
Oh my gosh.
It's with praise. That's what it means. For years I thought it meant with honors, but technically it means with praise. Literally it means with praise.
How come this thing doesn't shoot over to my face when I'm talking? Oh, you have to do that.
Oh, yes, I do. Well, no, you've changed the view. But I got what you're saying. I have to change it for it to register.
Because that kind of, resonates a little bit. But, AOC acting like she got arrested was just hilarious. She was being walked away. Now, was she being detained or was she just being led off and she pretended like she was being arrested?
I think she was actually arrested, but
the thing is, though, so why wasn't there handcuffs on her for real?
Well, you actually don't necessarily have to be cuffed to be arrested.
No. But the thing is, though, that's privilege, because how many times have you seen a person arrested and they don't have cuffs on them?
Well, you typically don't see that in the news media because the person, if someone's cooperating, it's not an interesting story. Yeah. The only reason we saw AOC getting arrested was because of who she is.
Well, I mean, what about the video of the girl? It's a funny video. The girl is being arrested by a cop, and he's trying to put the cuffs on her, and she's rubbing her ass against him. She's like, "You like that, Daddy?" You could tell she was pissed, and it's like, you know what? That's hilarious.
Yeah, but what that clip solidified for, which I already knew this, but I'm surprised more people aren't talking about this. The fact, like, because I watched the whole thing, I watched her being led, and the other woman, I forget who it was not, didn't have her hands behind her back. She was just walking. AOC's got her hands behind her back, but she cannot resist putting the fist up. But then she brings it right back. And I'm like, you fucking self-absorbed, narcissistic bitch.
What movie or show is that someone's arrested and they actually were able to get the cuffs off, and then something happened and they went to move their hands and they're just like, they wipe their nose and then they put their hands back with the cuffs. I can't remember what it is. I can't remember. But that seriously just reminded me of AOC doing that, doing the fist bump and then saying, back to the fake cuffs.
Well, she had to put her hands back behind her back for the photo op, and she's been caught doing that shit, like her photo shoot at the border, right?
Crying, yeah.
And I'm just like, did anybody tell her that the Obama administration built those? Did anybody tell her?
Yeah, and then she'd be like, well, but the Trump administration didn't tear them down. It's like, why would you tear down?
But neither did the Biden administration. And I'm not defending the practice. I don't give a shit who the president is. I think that shit's wrong. I think there's got to be a better way.
I mean, are they truly cages, or are they just detention facilities?
They're literally cages, bro.
So they're open and air's flowing to them. There's no air conditioning. There's no running water. There's no restrooms, because a cage doesn't have those things. That's a detention facility.
Well, technically, it is a detention facility.
That's what I said it is.
Oh yeah, that's what. Well, I mean, they are literal cages, dude.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying. Like, do you call a prison a cage? I mean,
yes.
Technically, people do call it a cage, but it's not.
It's a literal cage, man.
Well, if you look up the definition to a cage, it's generally just confinement, and I will.
No, we're gonna have some fun here.
Hey, wait a minute! You've got an old non-woke.
Exactly. This is a real dictionary.
Dictionary that
Let's see. When was this one published?
I'm sorry. It's not. They're not fucking cages. If they have air conditioning and whatnot, well, let's see.
Are they air conditioned? I sincerely doubt it.
That many people in there, they would fucking die in the fucking heat.
I think that's the point, dude.
Bro. What? They want them to die?
No, they don't want them to die, but it's certainly not good. Okay, I'm going to look up the definition of cage and we'll get into this. This is exciting because we're actually disagreeing on something for a change.
Like a rat in a cage.
We can show people that two people can disagree with one another in a respectful manner and still be friends afterwards. This is a great night. I'm actually very excited.
Fuck that dude. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, fuck you. This podcast is over, dick.
Hey, you! Over there! Fuck you! What's your name?
Okay. Never mind. This isn't working out well. Cage, an open work enclosure for confining an animal or something resembling a cage. The verb to cage, to put or keep in or as if in a cage. Okay, fuck this. We're just stupid. We're going to an alternative source.
We're going to go to...
Okay, this is much better. There's multiple definitions here. So we have cage, noun.
A valued object deposited as a guarantee of good faith. I didn't type in gauge, I typed in cage.
So, a structure or bars or wires in which birds or other animals are confined. Example, she kept a canary in a cage. A prison cell or camp, an open framework forming the compartment in an elevator. I did not know that. A structure of crossing bars or wires designed to hold or support something. In baseball, a portable backstop situated behind the batter during batting practice. Okay, we knew that. Batting cage. In hockey, a goal made from a network frame. Or cage is also an indoor athletic facility with areas fenced off for security, i.e., fighting cage. Nice. So yes, I would say that the detention facilities, at least the photographs that I've seen, would qualify. That I have seen would qualify.
Wikidiff.com, prison versus cage. What's the difference? Prison, noun, a place of long-term confinement for those convicted of serious crimes or otherwise considered. This is prison, so that doesn't count. I was looking for. I did type in detention facility. You know, it's kind of a little different, but anyway, we'll just agree that the definition of a cage is what it is.
I think that's kind of evident.
I understand that, but I'm just saying, like, when people hear the word cage, it collectively, like, attaches to their emotions, and they're like, oh, they're in cages, and it's like, they have air conditioning. They do have air conditioning. You can look that up.
They're in a literal cage.
What they're not. I mean, the actual part of it is a cage, but it's like a freaking inside, like,
so it's
benched area. You know, where they can, like, sit down. Now they did have too many in there, but is that our fault, or is that or is that their fault for coming?
No, it's literally our fault.
Well, why are we responsible? Why are we responsible for Westworld? We should have just let them go and sent them back out. But they would die.
Okay, die. Let's clarify one thing real quick. Who are we talking? Because you have to. Bill Clinton taught us anything. You have to get specific when you're using words and shit. Who do we mean by we in this instance? Us, the government, or Americans in general?
Well, as Americans, we are in charge of shit because we vote for these things, but yet no one actually. Nothing we say does anything.
Yeah, this is nuance Aikido.
So therefore, it doesn't matter what we say or do.
It's like that TikTok with their two girls are drinking the
my belly hurt. But no,
that was solid. That's a 10.
So basically, no, it's not our fault, because the thing is, if it was up to the bulk of Americans, they would say, well, I'm sorry, but we don't have the processing abilities to process that many people, and we don't have the holding abilities to hold that many people. You're going to have to go back to where you came from, unfortunately, and then try to come in the legal way, unless you're a true asylee. And to be an asylee is very difficult. Like, you have to prove it.
It's too difficult, though. And here's the thing. I don't have firsthand experience, obviously, but I employ someone who is a legitimate asylee, and he explained the process, and it's fucking retarded.
My buddy married an asylee, and they're still working on getting it. And it is very costly, but at the same time, like, yeah, we're privileged. We were born here. But at the same time, it's like, do you just go to another country and it's a streamlined process? Can you name any country where it's a streamlined process and you become a citizen within a year?
Ireland.
Fuck Ireland.
No, I literally know. Actually, I think. Don't quote me on this.
Actually, I do like Ireland, but
I believe in Ireland you get Actually, I'm going to look this up. However, I do know an American who he married a bonny lass from the.
All right. Well, you got an example. What type of benefits do they receive immediately?
I shall. He was able to work within an hour or two.
Not work.
He was able to.
Other benefits.
I know.
And I just want to clarify to anyone listening, I'm not. What would you say? What would you say? It sounded like I am, but I'm not. Like against immigration
Racist
at all. You know, I don't give a fuck if you call me that because I already know. But I'm just saying, immigration was used when we needed people for factories a long time ago, and not factories, but just workers. Period. Because we needed workers. The America did.
Okay. So this is what would have.
Jake should know this.
For what?
I said the real reason why we had such a mass immigration policy in the recent past was because we needed workers for the war. What was it? There was a reason we needed mass immigration, but nowadays it's not that we need it because honestly, this country's getting a little.
Well, actually, we do. We still to this day are having a massive what's the word I'm looking for, agricultural labor shortage, because a lot of those jobs,
we have a reason why too, is because we have a lot of people who don't want to work.
Well, correct, but the thing of it is we tightened under the Trump administration. They did tighten those.
Get rid of those people, replace them, send them to where these people are going, and then bring them here.
I think the Trump administration really fucked up a little bit because they couldn't change the laws, but they could have. Okay, so here's the thing: we need I don't want to use the word foreign. What's migrant? We need the migrant labor because Americans don't want to do the job. So we need the migrant labor to do these jobs. However,
gardeners, roofers.
I'm talking strictly. I'm only talking strictly agricultural here, but yes, those are all examples.
Oh yeah, because I'll tell you, at the end of the day, I would rather have a crew from Mexico doing roofs, because the thing is, they can put it on faster and they put it on right.
Apparently, Guatemalans are where it's at, but I don't see color. I only see shingles. But anyway, so we need.
I put on a roof for you.
Oh yeah, no, there's no question. I drove by one time. I saw white guys putting a roof on. I'm like, fuck, that's gonna take them days.
Yep. And the thing is, I employed a lot of asylees as well as just green cards. So
you can say illegals.
No.
No, we never did that.
No, they had to carry their own insurance, and it's kind of difficult to do that with, but because as a roofer, especially working in your area, Fishers, you have to have permits. Some towns and whatnot don't require them, but yours did. And it's like, if someone comes around and they want to check everybody's ID and green cards and whatnot, you're fucked.
See that. Okay, so not to get off topic, but that's a practice that I don't really agree with. And technically it's legal, but to me that law is pretty fucking racist at its base.
What do you?
It's not overtly racist, and what I mean is like
it's OSHA, and it's OSHA as well as that, because the thing is.
But what does OSHA need to know someone's immigration status?
If they're not legally obliged to work in the United States and they get hurt and they go to sue a company, they can't technically sue because they're not a citizen. So how are they going to do this or that? It's just not.
So okay, so this is actually I'm really
it's very.
Okay, but I'm going to give you an example because, like, you're not wrong, but okay. So, are you familiar with the term like I'm drawing a complete blank here. This is good because I thought this podcast was going to suck because I was ill prepared, but we're getting into some good shit here. I'm drawing a complete blank, but during Reconstruction, I think they were called the Black Codes unofficially. I could be wrong, but these were laws that were put in place by Southern states to prohibit black people from voting.
Was this during civil?
Immediately after.
Okay.
Immediately after the Civil War and going into Jim Crow, because these. So essentially, what these things were is things that these are laws that weren't overtly racist. Like, it didn't say, because they couldn't. They couldn't say that black people cannot vote. It is illegal. But what they did do is they had things like poll taxes and literacy tests, because a lot of these people were former slaves who never learned how to read and had no income enough to pay the poll taxes. Only rich white people had those types of resources. And a lot of the times you could be exempt from these if your grandfather was legally allowed to vote. But since black people only just now received the right to vote, they couldn't fall in under that, basically that like predetermined status, that way out. So that's an example of a law kind of like that, where it's not overtly racist on its face. And this is the argument that people were making about voter ID, albeit it was a bad argument because there are no laws prohibiting black people from getting IDs. It's the same process for everyone. And there's also no law on the books saying that white people don't have to present a voter ID. So that's a bad example, but that's what they're drawing from. And to me, and it's the OSHA regulation you're talking about is a little bit more convoluted, because like, yes,
it's not necessarily OSHA. I'm just mentioning OSHA. It's more I would say to do with if liability, if the guy gets hurt,
sure, but here's
who's responsible, who's going to pay his bill if he goes to the hospital and he's an undocumented and he has no name, nothing to tie anything with.
The company that hired him.
But he's an illegal, he has no paperwork. How are they going to prove he worked for that company? He could just say, "Oh, I've never been there. I just." Why
would he do that though?
Legal loopholes, man. Lawyers, dude.
Oh, I understand, but I guess I'm not following you. Why would he claim to have not worked there? He wants his medical care paid for.
Well, that's the thing. America, if they're an undocumented immigrant, therefore the hospital most times will just write it off, and the government gives them money for it anyway. So, I mean, nobody's really going to say anything for it anyway because they know they're getting the bill paid for.
You're saying the company might do that?
No, I don't think the company would do shit. We kind of unpacked a little too much there and kind of got discombobulated. But no, all I'm saying is just I don't, just it's not that hard. There's a few steps to you just get a worker visa. I had a few guys that actually had to go back to Mexico because their worker visa ended.
Well, but here's the thing, though. Do you know how long it takes to get a worker visa?
Well, and that's exactly why Mrs. President Trump was trying to get more judges down there to streamline the process, but it kept getting blocked every which way.
Correct, and that's a good point. And this is what I was touching on earlier when I said that the Trump administration couldn't actually change the law.
No, they didn't change anything.
Well, they couldn't because
they're not in charge of the laws.
Yeah, they can't change. They can enforce the law through government agency, and presidents throughout history have done this.
But they can't change it. That's up to
they
Congress.
Can't change the law. Exactly. And I think what Trump was trying to do, and I shouldn't say he failed. I think what Trump was trying to do was actually get Congress to change the laws by pointing out through example what they could actually do.
If I hate to say it like this, and this, I don't really care if I sound bad or not. If Trump would have raised his own children, he would have known how to talk to the Democrats. And I think that's 100% the truth, because the thing is, I've learned that with my own kids, man. If something's not working, if you change it up and explain it in a different way, a little softer, and instead of being forceful, they do it. It's weird. And Democrats, I hate to say it, are the same way. Republicans are like the fucking stubborn-ass teenagers, like, nope. And then you got fucking Democrats who are like the fucking toddlers, be like, I just do what I want. And then, you just got to explain things a different way. But nobody knows how to fucking communicate and get on the same side.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's
common ground. It's not that hard to find.
Yeah. Well, so I don't want to rob our viewers of the...
that hurt.
Of the Irish citizenship. So
yeah.
Hey, and actually, unfortunately, my Zoom has started doing that other bullshit. So we got about 7 minutes before it cuts us off. Yeah, I know. It's trying to get people to pay for it now. It's actually really smart because Zoom was free during the pandemic, and before the pandemic, I'd never fucking heard of Zoom.
Yeah, me neither.
And it was funny. Everybody was like, Zoom. I'm like, this type of software has existed for ages before. It's called Skype, dipshit.
And if gas wasn't so fucking expensive, we'd be doing this.
Oh, no, I would. I thought you weren't ready.
Oh.
I'm down to come down. I thought you weren't ready.
Well, I just didn't want you to have to fucking drive all the way down here.
Dude, I don't pay for my gas. I don't give a fuck.
All right, well then I guess we'll have to get something set up.
Next week I'll be down. Okay, and I'm reading. This is because there's several pathways to Irish citizenship. This is one. If you are married to an Irish citizen, and this is what his process would have been like, and apparently this is law. If you are married to or in a civil partnership, don't even have to be married. Okay, civil partnership with. Oh, actually, this might have applied to gay people because Ireland only recently legalized gay marriage, if I'm not wrong, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, if you are married to or in a civil partnership with an Irish citizen, you can apply to become an Irish citizen by naturalization. You can apply if you live in Ireland or Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland's part of the UK. That doesn't make sense. And meet the following conditions. You are 18 years of age or over. You have been married for 3 years or more. You have lived on the island of Ireland for 3 out of 5 years before you make your application. You must have lived in Ireland or Northern Ireland continuously for 12 months before the date of your application. You intend to live in Ireland after you have become an Irish citizen. You live with your spouse. You are of good character. Okay, that's funny. So basically, you fill out a form, meet those good character. Blah, 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 blah. So basically, as long as you're not a felon and you live there for 3 years and you're married to an Irish person, then you can pretty well get Irish citizenship.
Now, does it require any tests or anything like that, or
no? I've always found that a little ridiculous.
Yeah, I did too, and I was like, what? Why do they need to know about the country's history? I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm just
it's not so much the history. I'm not necessarily against them taking a course to learn how the government works, because these are people who will be voting and they may not understand the whole process and how it works. So I'm not necessarily against the course, but I don't know about the test.
Yeah.
Well, especially since I'm pretty sure most Americans, the average American they'd probably pass, but it would probably be embarrassing how poorly they would do on said tests. Like, I don't necessarily know that an immigrant to the United States needs to necessarily know every single president.
Okay, back to my point.
Main point.
So, how many people are immigrating to Ireland versus the United States?
That's a fair point. Not nearly as many.
Not even like a smallest smallest fraction, but you know what I mean.
Gotta love how we're talking about AOC and we've suddenly shifted major. Which I mean,
regardless, we can only talk so much about one instance. So the thing is, like, all this shit's related because it's all within the government, and it all consists of her. Because I mean, AOC is a big open border supporter, and then
plus the fact too that she always makes the point that the government is racist, but she's part of the government, and people elected her to the government even though she is a minority.
And it's like, if you're so against it, you could have figured out a way to work outside of it. And that's the thing. I don't trust the government fucking at all.
No, I'll be 100% honest. I think the government is low key racist to a certain extent, but I think it's the Democratic Party.
Yeah, I mean, considering the first few members of the KKK were Democratic.
I'm not even talking historically, because
people would say they've changed, but it's like, yeah, okay. If you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
Well, and then I saw something there. It was on TikTok, and I'm sure it was an old tweet, but some Democrat, I think from California, was talking about how this revolutionary restaurant has created a safe haven for people of color. They have segregated seating.
Oh, that's not a jump back 50, 60 years.
And I'm just 70. Like, I was like, sometimes... Sometimes stupid manifests in very interesting ways.
Stupid does manifest in certain ways, and the funny thing is I was actually, well, I'm not actually. I was chatting with someone, with someone on Facebook today, and
chatting with Svetlana.
This girl had a video, and it said something about my neck hurts. I must have, and then she's like, oh, her friend says, oh, did you sleep on it wrong? She goes, no, I slept on the couch. She goes, why'd you sleep on the couch? She goes, my bed has all my clothes on it. And she goes, why don't you just put them up? And then she is not talking to her friend. She looks at the camera and she's just like, she must not know what mental illness is. And I was like, mental illness is laziness? I was like, because I was like, for one, your video, your hair is perfect. Your makeup's on point. I was like, you look good and you made a video. If you're willing to do all those things, you don't have a problem with mental illness. You just don't want to put up your fucking clothes.
Well, not least of which, like, you would, realistically, like, if I had to fold every piece of clothing I own, it would take me inside of an hour to do if I had to fold and put away everything that I own. And okay, so multiply that double for a girl, because, like, let's be real.
Regardless, though, if you do little by little, do smaller loads of laundry more frequently.
No shit. I believe it's going to cut us off, so I'm going to go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead and do it.
And nix it, and then I'll invite you back. Nixon, I am not a crook.
The things we do.
Get up there, biatch.
So, where we left off.
We were talking about how racist you were.
Fucking white people. You know the funny thing is, we're not even white. We're peach.
Fucking honkies. I can say it. It's our word.
Yeah, right. But if you say it's racist.
Wait. Who says it?
I'm talking to you. You're not white.
Dude, I'm as white as they come.
You're peach.
I took my DNA test. I have like 0.02% African ancestry. It's probably like the lowest genomically possible.
I've got some DNA, because the funny thing is, I was actually just talking with somebody about this.
You do have some DNA.
I got some DNA. I got some of them DNAs over here. But no,
some of them might be an extra chromosome in there.
I know this is weird, but like when I was like 12 or 13, like I don't know if anyone notices this kind of stuff, but I started wearing no-show socks very early on, and they weren't very popular because the thing is, people didn't know much about them. And you remember how like some people would fold down their socks real weird.
Yeah. Well,
over
they couldn't see them.
But no, I'm talking like, anyway, so I had to wear no-shows. And the reason I had to wear no-shows was because I went to the doctor, and I actually had a fucking, a problem to where the hair on my legs, like, coming up out of my ankle from the no-show, well, not in the no-show, it would grow up and then grow back into the skin. And the doctor said that is only prevalent in black men. And he's like, this is like the first case I've ever seen in a white person. I was just kind of like,
You sure it wasn't the extra muscle in your leg?
Oh yeah, I got the extra tendon. I used to be able to jump really high.
This is true. I've seen it.
I can't anymore. I'm very fat. Well, I just say lazy. You know, actually I can still jump. I just can't jump as high. I could put my hand in the white box on the basketball goal almost to the very top of it. I remember that.
Yeah, we give ourselves a hard time, but actually I think for being in our like mid-30s, we're actually not doing too bad.
Well, I'm going to do better because I'm going to get a gym membership, and I'm going to actually go because my kids are getting ready to go back in school, both of them full time, so I will have all day to do Tate shit, and then, which we'll get into that in a little bit, but
yeah.
So I will have time to do Tate shit.
Speaking of Tate and racism, have you seen you probably haven't. Have you seen the clip? He's on Fresh and Fit podcast, and there's some chick in there who's talking about, she's like, you as a white man, he just kind of goes like, could you pull up a picture of my father, please?
What? She called Tate a white man?
She called him a white man. Well, his expression was priceless because he just kind of like perks up a little bit. He's just like, hmm?
Hold on, I gotta plug up.
Yeah. He can't hear me now, so I can talk massive smack.
Oh my gosh, dude. I'm so sick. These headphones have just been dying faster and faster lately. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But anyway, like that's hilarious that she called him a white man.
Oh, it was so funny. So funny. And then
like,
afterwards,
are you fucking kidding me?
I love it because after they pull up a picture of his father, who, for those who don't know, Andrew Tate's father is black, was black before he passed, but she's like acting like she never said it, and then she gets called out on it again, and she's like, "Well, I don't know you," and he's like, "Exactly, you don't know me, and you made a rash judgment right there. You're proving my point." It was fucking brilliant.
Almost as brilliant as AOC pretending to be arrested. You know, the thing is though, like I haven't even looked it up yet. What was she being hauled away for? What was she doing?
I'm not entirely sure. She was at a pro-choice protest, and I think it might have been something where like she got too close, or like she moved beyond where they were supposed to be.
I mean, it's not like the fucking Queen of England, and you're getting too close to the Queen's Guard, and remove yourself.
Yeah, fuck you,
bitch.
Do you know where I'm from? Here's what I think of the Queen.
Wait a minute. We don't answer to you anymore.
Yeah, haven't for a while. Oh, by the way, you're welcome.
Yeah, how many vaccines did we send over there?
Oh, I'm not even talking about that.
Actually, I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just
actually,
talking out my ass.
That's actually quite a poor joke, because Britain, particularly in both world wars, Britain was fucking powerhouses. Some mad respect historically. Stood alone against Germany for a decent period of time. So, mad props.
Yeah, can't really talk too much shit, but could you imagine what it'd be like? America would be like right now. There'd be people wearing fucking dresses with like clown makeup on their faces, smoking crack.
If America did what?
Do you not remember if we would have lost? If the colonies would have lost to the United Kingdom and wouldn't have pushed the Armada back? Wasn't not Armada? What was it?
Well, they
was it the Armada?
Not really.
I'm not a good history buff. You are.
The French Navy blockaded the coast to prevent British ships from coming in and going out. So
the British are coming.
Yeah, blockaded Yorktown. It was not single-handedly, but very instrumental in winning the war in that last battle. So.
Yeah, and they was like, we don't want. Well, okay, do whatever you want. You're on your own, kids. And guess what? America. Here we are.
You know what? It's not trying to get off topic, but there's a very common misconception that like the Americans were like badasses.
Oh no!
During the American Revolution, it's like
there was like 99% luck there.
Well, it's not even so much that. I mean, there was legitimate skill there, but it's not like we were fighting the entire British Army.
Well, no, the people they sent though, you got to think. The people that were living here had been living here. They had home court knowledge that they did not. So therefore, that went against them. That's like if anyone were invade us now with America being the biggest militia, that would be the biggest mistake they've ever made.
Oh, I legitimately believe that barring the use of nuclear weapons, and even that would be an undertaking to a certain extent, I think invading the continental U.S. would be the single stupidest thing you could do.
There is one way that they could take us out real easily, and it would just be them detonate a.
I know it's TikTok.
No, detonate an atom bomb, a nuclear bomb, in our atmosphere above the United States, and the fallout just fucking going all over the United States.
Well, I did say barring the use of nuclear weapons.
I know.
I'm talking about an actual like invasion, like boots on the ground invasion.
Have you seen a movie called
Red Dawn? Yes.
Divide. The Divide.
No, I don't have.
Did you watch Heroes?
I watched the first season in its entirety, and I tried to watch the second season, and it was just getting so fucking.
Really?
Yeah.
You suck. You don't like superheroes. I don't think you like superheroes.
I know I love superheroes.
No, you don't like superheroes. There's no way. That was such a good show until the last few seasons, because the writers basically quit and went on strike, and they had to bring in people and fill it up, and it was. But anyway, Peter Petrelli. I can't remember the actor's name. It's really weird, but he's a good actor. Peter Petrelli in the show, he is in this movie called The Divide, and basically they're in New York, and they're all up in top of this building, and an atom bomb, well, a nuclear bomb goes off in the city, and they're going downstairs to a basement. This guy who I think he owns the building and he rents out apartments, and he's like, come on down, and they shut the door, seal it up because he was a prepper, and they blew up the city with an atom bomb or whatever bomb. I keep saying atom bomb, and then they invaded in suits, hazmat, so where they wouldn't get whatnot. And I was like, why would you invade?
What's the point?
But they ended up coming down there and breaking into the thing, and eventually causing mass leaks of radiation down in there, and people were sick and dying and whatnot. And then it was Asian people. I don't know who it was. I'm just gonna say Asians. And I was like, well, I'm pretty sure it was Japan. They're like
unspecified.
The reason I say Japan is because I don't think China is really. Do you think they're more advanced technologically than us?
It depends on what avenue you're talking about.
Warfare.
But militarily, no, I don't think so. I think they're relatively close, but I don't think that they're superior. I don't think anyone is superior to the United States when it comes to military equipment, force, and tactics.
Well, apparently Russia has a bigger nuclear bomb than anyone now. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just what I heard or read.
I find that hard to believe considering what we've seen of the Russian military.
Yeah, well, the thing is, though, you got to think they're trying not to destroy the Ukraine because of all the precious resources that they're trying to attain. So why would you go in and destroy?
Oh no, I'm not suggesting they used a nuclear bomb. I'm just saying.
But they're on the ground. They're boots to the ground. Like they are not doing it, considering the small country. Well, it's not Ukraine's not a small country, but
I mean, compared to Russia, though.
Compared to Russia, but I don't know, dude. I think there's more shit going on than meets the eye there, and I know we're getting into something different, but
they pretty well confirmed that Putin has cancer, and so does Biden. So
no, Biden doesn't have cancer. He had COVID. He has COVID.
Bullshit! That fucker's got cancer.
No,
I read it.
They literally came out after, because I texted you that day. I said Biden has cancer, and then not even a day later, he's got COVID. And I'm like, so if he's got COVID and they're like, oh no, he messed up on saying what he said, and it's like, so if he messed up what he said, he was doing it in front of tons of people, and you guys are afraid of that, and you're gonna get those people sick.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, man. Dude, this country is so goddamn corrupt now. Like, we're literally Ukraine 3.0.
Yeah, pretty well. I was going to share another fun fact, but I've lost it.
Well, no, that's actually what I was Ukraine. I'm like, so how can the Ukrainian president was Zelensky?
Yeah.
How the fuck's he doing all these photo ops and doing all this fun stuff and then is able to take pictures and have a good time when he's worried about war and whatnot? But I'm like, I don't know, like you have to know what I'm talking about. I can't if I could just bring it up. I can't remember those videos I was watching, and I was like, how's he got time to do all this shit? Like, he's got a country in the middle of war. It's like, why are you worried about photo ops and going to dinner and kind of?
Well, I'm
really fucking getting out there right now. I'm out.
Well, I don't. To a certain extent, I don't really know how corrupt you could really say Zelensky is, because part of the reason he got elected as an independent was because he was his whole shtick, from my understanding, was that he was going to be a servant for the people. And now, if you want to put your tinfoil hat on, what better way to prove that you are? And I'm not saying that I even think this. I'm just putting my tinfoil hat on.
Go ahead, Jake. Go ahead.
What better way to prove that you're a man of the people than to be present during a military conflict? I mean, it's I'm trying to think of a good example. It's well, Animal Farm doesn't really apply because Napoleon didn't actually fight.
Hey Biden, this is how we do this, and we get filthy rich. And your ruble's going to go through the roof because everyone's going to cut you off, and then all your people are going to fucking rally. Let's do this.
You know what? I would actually invest.
Where's my tinfoil hat?
I would actually consider investing in the ruble if I wasn't afraid it would eventually collapse.
If I would have caught it before it fucking exploded, sure. But now,
did it explode?
Well, you know what I mean. Like
it went up.
Yeah,
it went up.
Before it shot up. You know, if I would have invested, into forex trading, and I would have got it before, yeah, sure. But now, you're absolutely right, because the thing is, like, you never know. You know.
Yeah, that's the only thing about forex that concerns me, because to make any real money, you have to really invest in currencies that are down.
Right.
But the problem with currencies is one of the best ways to get out of a bad economic. It's not the only thing you do, but one of the things. And Germany did this during the Great Depression, and it was going to work until the Great Depression happened, and then it just went and fucked everything up for everybody. But one of the ways you get out of an economic depression is you issue a different currency.
Well, not necessarily that, but I mean, if you
well, it's one of the things you can do.
Russians, I've been reading a few Russian blogs, and yeah, they could be lying, but apparently, I can't remember how many rubles it was, but I can give you an idea of how much it was in American dollars. A loaf of bread right now in America is around $4 to $5.
Where are you buying bread?
I'm talking good bread. Okay.
Fancy bread. AOC bread.
Even regular fucking Kroger bread is well over $2.
Okay, yeah,
a loaf of bread was like $1.15 in Russia for good bread.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing is, they don't have. You got to think Russia doesn't have a lot of chemicals in their food. You know, like we do. But I'm not saying that's move to Russia, but whatever. But like the price of everything is not as near as high as it is here in America, and yet why is the ruble going up in value so much? You know, because if you got to think it doesn't make sense what I'm trying to explain.
Okay, good. I thought I was just dumb.
No, you're not, because inflation would cause the value of the dollar to shrink, which it has. Oh, I'm talking America.
Oh, okay.
I'm switching. I'm switching.
We're jumping around.
I'm switching currencies simply just because I can't talk about the ruble because I don't know too much about it. All I'm saying is I've just seen a few prices here and there. But I mean, I watch a couple Russian YouTubers, and he's literally building his own house, and the guy doesn't make very much money, and he's able to build a house with materials and whatnot, and materials over there really aren't that expensive. And
believe it or not, when you're finished, I'm going to be able to bring it back to AOC with that comment. So,
please do.
I'm being serious. I can do this.
All right, I'm done with it.
Okay, so you were pointing that out. I've often made the hypothesis that the biggest, well, maybe not the biggest, but one of the big reasons for the, quote, economic divide that AOC likes to talk about so much isn't actually so much what people earn, which there's definitely a wealth disparity. And there are reasons for that. The problem is AOC is blaming the wrong people. But I think one of the biggest problems with people who claim to not have a lot of money is actually not so much their income, but their spending.
That's like the United States government.
Well, we learn from the best, right? But no, I mean, because and I don't even have this conversation with people anymore because everybody gets pissed off. But I say things like, I don't have any money. It's like, really? Well, I know roughly how much you make, and I find that kind of hard to believe if you stick within a budget and are like, you don't even have to live uncomfortably. That's the thing. Like,
thanks. It's like I went to the Whole Foods store and bought a shit ton of Whole Foods, that are out of my means, and now I'm broke. But let me see. I just got a special delivery. Gracias.
Are they laced with anything?
Yes, cocaine.
Well, no, because I
even got a Pepsi, dude.
Fucking A.
I didn't expect
I like that
it.
service.
My wife went to the gas station to get some stoner food.
Some stoner food.
And I have not taken the gummy, FYI.
Now, speaking of stoners, though, that leads us into our wonderful sponsor for this podcast.
Oh, yeah.
AOC, you should take a couple of these. They'll help you get a good night's sleep. They certainly help me, and I've been needing it this week because it's been the absolute shits. But I'm still fucking here.
I'm out of mine, and I have not slept good since.
Well, and part of the reason why, and I'm being legit here, like, sometimes I like to make the sponsorships funny, but I'm being legit. These things are fucking amazing. And OMG CBD is so awesome that the owner personally texted me and asked me if the gummies were working out. I said, they're fucking phenomenal. When I'm out, I want another. Now, these are, it actually says just CBD, no THC, Delta 8, Delta 9 in these bad boys, because I just want to sleep and feel relaxed. And this is perfect because the CBD relaxes me. Actually, I don't know what does what. It's melatonin and CBD. One of them relaxes me so I get to sleep, and then the other one keeps me asleep. So what's hilarious about these, though, is when I take one, I usually wake up about 6:30 in the morning. My alarm, but I'm fine. Like, I'm ready to go. My alarm every morning is like 7. So if I take one of these, I will, generally speaking, wake up before my alarm goes off and feel better rested than if I don't take one and wait for my alarm.
And because instead of, I don't know if you're a scroller before you go to bed.
No, I used to be. I cut way back on that.
It helps if you're not.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I noticed the difference. I try to at least have about 30 minutes or so of not looking at my phone before I physically go to bed. Now, I do a lot of shit on my phone, so that's harder to do, but...
I understand.
Yeah.
But back to OMG CBD, we are going to be working on a website soon, but with anyone who knows anything about the CBD business, it's really difficult to get card processing, and it's very expensive for card processing. But the thing is, you can actually place an order through the store, through the Facebook page. You just contact the owner, and then whatever you're looking for, we can help you out.
So actually, AOC can help you with that. I'm being serious now. This is the rabbit hole I went down. So one of the largest online payment processors, Stripe, which is actually one of the options for the website builder that I recommended to you guys, as well as Hustlers University, is... well, he's not owned exclusively by, but a founding engineer was none other than the former chief of staff for Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. So AOC, get on that shit, because you're keeping the little man down.
I mean, I don't understand with these card processors, because the thing is...
it's money. They know they can get more money. They know they can get more money.
It's lobbyists.
Yeah, that's all it is. They know they can get more money, so Stripe.
Get on it. And one of the companies we deal with, they literally said they have a lobbyist. They pay $10,000 a month. Now, I wouldn't say necessarily for inside information, and I'm not going to get.
No, it's a lobbyist.
I'm not going to get into any names or stuff like that because, fuck you. You don't need to know that shit. But anyway, so they give that much money, and they find out certain things as they're coming in, like if something's going to get voted on.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's all I have to say. And if you're in the Columbus, Indiana area, or the Indiana area, period,
anywhere,
you can come and check out the store for yourself. It's a fun little store. Jake has yet to check it out.
Yeah, I need to go down there because I don't live in Columbus. But
935 2nd Street.
Oh,
Columbus,
speaking of which,
Indiana.
you just reminded me. I'll have to tell you. There's some news off air, but obviously I'm not going to share it on the podcast because it's none of your fucking business. Like AOC's lover, who apparently she's engaged to now. And I'm going to try to say this and not sound like a dick, but I honestly wonder.
Dick.
Like, there's no way it's not going to make me sound like an asshole, but I wonder. I want to know if she pegs him.
Probably.
Because I legitimately, not even trying to be an asshole, I'm not here to kink shame anyone, but they just look like, I think she puts on a giant strap on and fucks him in the ass.
Either that, or she has one.
She definitely. That's inappropriate.
I've seen some girls who are not girls, and they look like girls. Just gonna say it. And that could be
of the
Blair
White
what I'm saying?
clan?
Oh, yeah, and it's like Blair White's like
The
kind of
strong,
like a good-looking girl.
The strong and beautiful clan.
Dude, she's only like 5'4".
Stunning and brave. That's them's the words I was looking for.
And she doesn't even use that crap though. That's why I like her, because
I cannot believe I'm going to share this. This
her.
is so incredibly offensive. But do you know the show The Good Doctor?
No.
Okay. Do you know who Freddie Highmore is? Did you watch the series Bates Motel.
Was that with
Freddie Highmore?
No, Bates Motel. That Norman Bates. Okay, I did not, but I know who he. Wait, did he play Norman Bates?
Yes.
Then I know who he is. Okay.
Okay, so he is on a show called. It's a medical drama, and the concept is he's.
I know it. I just haven't seen it. Okay.
So
I can't.
I'm actually gonna start watching this show, but it's because it's unintentionally hilarious if you're an asshole like me. So I'm on TikTok. Asshole. Let's do it. I'm getting ready to upload a tape video. And when you open TikTok, it automatically starts showing you videos because the Chinese are trying to control our minds. But it starts with this clip from The Good Doctor.
Say what you want, but I've learned a lot of good things from TikTok. Anyway, go ahead.
I have. But it's a clip from The Good Doctor, and it opens up at the perfect time because literally the opening line is, I'm like, okay, like it said on the bottom, it was like they didn't know they were trans or something like that. But anyway, so this kid's in there for abdominal pain, right? And the doctors lift up the sheet gown thing because they're gonna like directly put pressure on the abdomen, and Freddie Highmore in like full autism spectrum dribble, he's like, "That's a penis." And I'm losing my shit because it's so unintentionally hilarious because his delivery on it, and he's like, he doesn't get it.
That's where he's an autistic doctor, right?
Yes, and he's like, he has XY chromosomes. He is a boy, and everybody's like, no, it's a she, blah blah blah. And then the kid turns out to have testicular cancer, and I'm laughing hysterically.
Well,
it's like it's very mean. I'm not gonna lie.
But when you go into a doctor's office and you've never been in there and say you're trans or whatnot, you should disclose what your fucking actual biological.
Well, and I think in the real world you do, but obviously for the show. But anyway, so I see this clip and I'm like, I gotta watch this episode because this looks fucking hilarious. It was. It was pretty funny, unintentionally though. And I will give credit where credit's due. They address. I thought it was going to go completely like totally liberal about it. They bring up some valid points and treat it with nuance and respect, and it doesn't end in the way you think it's going to end. So I'm kind of like, okay, but the show's unintentionally hilarious.
Kind of like the Batman.
Yes, kind of like the Batman.
That was so.
It's like
funny.
It's supposed to be the super serious moment, and then you're just like,
"Let me inflate this suit." That was so funny. We were the only people in the theater laughing at that.
I'm thinking of Jesse from Breaking Bad when he inflates. That's what's going on in my mind. I'm just like, ah. It's kind of like when Joe Rogan talks about when he saw Brokeback Mountain. He's like, "That's hilarious." It's like, that's just rude.
You know,
I can't speak to the accuracy of that scene.
You know what?
All the times I've had sex with men.
I'm not gay. My boyfriend is.
Dude, I'm telling you, that kid is fucking sharp.
Oh yeah, but the things I was saying to him, apparently they'd never heard, and I was like, damn, I'm shooting some old wisdom on your ass. I was like, don't talk shit, or my boyfriend will hit you with his purse, or I'm not gay, my boyfriend is.
That's a good one, but
he had some good ones, man.
I think he had the best one-liner of the day. Yeah, I think he had the best one. We only touched hips once. I was so not ready for that.
Speaking of not ready, what else are people not ready for? But they should be ready for.
The imminent recession.
How can you get past the imminent recession, Jake?
Get a job.
What can that job help you with?
Okay, so we're actually real talk. So if you visit,
I was segueing.
Yeah, I know. I was intentionally being difficult to try to be funny. So actually, if you click the link in the description that should be there, it's rtamediahu2.com. No pressure. Not telling you to buy
Explain
anything.
what it is first there, buddy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Visit the website and just read the info. Because I'm telling you, full disclosure, I am in Hustlers University. I'm not going to give you details because, frankly, I pay to be there. So does everybody else who's in there. If you want the secrets, you're going to have to pay. Now, that being said,
I'll give you a few secrets. They have trade signals.
Yes, they do.
And they have trade signals with people who make lots of money. So the thing is, if you have a little bit of money to just trade with, whether that be crypto or stocks, it's worth it. And
yes,
I'm getting ready to sign up myself. So
he's speaking about the crypto campus. You essentially have 18 modern day wealth creation tools that you can learn. There's no limit. You can be in as many campuses as you want, although they advise being in one at a time. I happen to be in two because I kind of switched focus. I'm still in crypto, but that's not my focus right now. But
to master something, you master one thing. You don't master four things. A jack of all trades is actually not a good person to work with.
Actually, I actually disagree because that statement gets thrown around incomplete.
Well, a jack of all trades is actually someone who is just average in all trades versus excelling in one trade. That's my understanding. Fair. That's my understanding of the statement. And we have to end quickly. Not end quickly, but I got to get going here soon. And by going, I mean go to the bathroom. I have to use the restroom. I have to poop. And it just hit me.
We can get into the whole jack of all trades thing.
Well, I was just going to say, I've got 3 to 5 minutes.
Because I think, well, that's okay because we have 10 minutes.
What the fuck?
That's 30 minutes. But anyway, so I disagree somewhat because I think having a diverse set of skills is ideal. But as far as like making money, I think you need one main source of income, and then you can kind of dabble in other things. But I
I agree with you there. I'm talking like a person, jack of all trades. You know, someone who's a plumber, electrician, fucking this and that. You know, it's like most of the time their work is not the best because they're doing everything.
Not like a jack of all trades is not probably going to do as good of a plumbing job as a dedicated plumber.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because they have.
Not saying they can't do the work and it won't be, passable. I'm just saying.
It could be good work, but it may not be the best.
Yeah.
Might be adequate.
All right, we got a minute.
But I highly encourage you, just check out the website, read the information. You don't have to sign up for shit. But I'm actually kind of proud of the website because I learned how to make it in Hustlers University.
And it's actually very impressive the way he did it.
Thank you.
I looked at it. I was like, dude, that's their page. He goes, no, I put that together.
I had to make it.
I was like, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it was funny because like they had to change payment processors, so everybody got a new link for the affiliate. And the only drawback is now you have to create your own landing page, which I love because it allows, it separates the lazy from the not lazy. Because before they gave you your own landing page, but everybody's was the same. So now, a little bit of creativity, you can really stand out. And I'm really proud of the little landing page I made.
I liked it, and
it looks solid.
Speaking of landing page, well, not landing page, but this actually has nothing to do with Hustlers University. But the thing is, though, I've recently learned that Coinbase started the live trading. Remember I showed it to you on the way to Kings Island?
Yep.
I've made a little bit of money. Can't really see what it is because of the freaking thing. Anyway, I'm at $2,500 in my Coinbase account, and I only had $1,700 in there.
See, you're gonna fit right into the crypto campus. Like you're gonna be posting wins immediately. And that's the other thing. That's the other thing about Hustler. Well, that's the other thing about Hustlers University is there are like, if you're in one of the wins chat rooms, because each campus has their own wins, but then there's a general Hustlers University wins. There's posts popping up every minute or so. Like they're constant. So literally almost. There's probably a couple people that are fucking around and not making any money, but like almost everyone in there is making money. They might not be getting rich, but they're making money. And there's a lot of people in there that are fucking getting rich because it's all public. Well, it's not public, but inside of the community, it's all public. Like all these things are posted in real time.
And so I'm not even paying for my subscription. Helium is.
There you go. Actually, mine is too. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, I actually cashed out because I saw HNT spike today, so I'm like, freaking.
I'm actually. I lied. I'm not going to use my helium. I'm actually going to use my Litecoin because my Litecoin is the lowest of all low right now out of all my other cryptos. So I'm actually going to use my Litecoin, but I still have 200.
So here's a good example, and then we can kind of wrap up with AOC, and then we can get you to the bathroom. So part of the thing, seriously, a skill that I've learned or started to learn, I haven't mastered it yet, obviously, is like identifying trends. So like my H&T is accumulating automatically, but when to cash out at the highest of highs is a skill. Like, because today I saw, it's gone up 14%.
Where do you send your H&T?
Crypto.com. It's the easiest. But
I send mine to there. Actually,
Uphold
yeah.
Can't trade. Uphold can't trade on the Helium network, which I found out, and I was like, that's kind of fucking stupid.
Uphold is trash on certain things.
But so I looked at the month trend, and I realized, we're getting ready to go into a peak, so I'm going to ride this wave, but I'm going to have to keep an eye on it because it's eventually going to start going down. Maybe not drastically, but I'm on a high wave. I see all the indicators that, generally speaking, point to a sharp increase before a bit of a dive. So I paid attention, cashed out, probably made an extra $10 just based on, watching the trade as opposed to just being like, just waiting till it gets to this. And I did it the last time I cashed out. I'll make anywhere between an extra $10 to $30 on an average cash out because I tend to cash out when it's around $100, give or take.
And another thing is, you only lose if you sell.
Yep.
Don't ever invest more than you can afford.
Exactly. Which, it's just so easy to troll AOC.
Fuck yeah, it is.
So easy. Well, and you heard recently, speaking of money, she's bitching that she's not making enough money. It's like, you bitch. What is she making, 174K a year? That's not a living wage. Where the of course, you grew up in fucking Westchester, so yeah, that actually does kind of make sense.
And you live in New York.
Well, Westchester is in New York, so.
Is that who she represents?
No, that's just where she grew up.
Weird. Aren't you supposed to live where you represent?
No, she lives in her district, but she also has an apartment in D.C.
Supposedly, she didn't live in her district when she was brought in, but that's like not been confirmed.
I think she moved to her district to run. I don't know that though. I just know that she talks about growing up in the Bronx, and I'm like, that's not fucking true because you lived in the Bronx until you were 5, and then your family moved to Westchester, where the median household income as of the 2000 census was about $110,000.
That's like me saying I grew up in the hood when I lived with my cousins in 38th and 38th, not Shaylin. Yeah.
That's the hood.
Yeah, it was straight hood.
I was like,
gunshots and shit at night, and fucking.
I was like that literally is the hood.
And that was the early 90s, not early 90s, early mid 90s before I came to Waldron.
Yeah, early to mid 90s because you came to Waldron.
98, 97.
Yeah, 98. Yeah, somewhere around there.
No, we had a blizzard in 97. Remember?
Yep, you're right.
It was 96 when I came to Waldron.
You're right. Everybody seems to have forgotten about the blizzard of 97.
It was bad.
It was great, though.
That was
a lot of fucking snow. We're talking feet.
Yeah, back when it used to snow.
I'll never forget
because it does not snow like it used to.
My dad lived in the. You know this. My dad at the time lived in the house directly behind my mom's house. So we went over there, and he was like, I'm going to go clear out the driveway. You want to help? I'm like, sure. And he opens the garage door, and there's about 3 feet of snow. And he's just like, nope. Like, you couldn't see his vehicle. Because for some reason, he never parked it in the garage. He always parked it outside. You couldn't fucking see it. He's like, I'm going to dig out my truck. And I'm like, fucking why?
When was that? 97?
97, yeah.
I thought you lived in a trailer park in 97.
It was whenever that blizzard was.
Maybe he didn't live in a trailer park for very long. When we first started hanging out, it was like a year, and then he moved.
Yeah.
And he got that house in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
With Judy.
Yep. It must have been shortly before he moved to the trailer park then, because I do. It was a blizzard. It was definitely a blizzard.
We got a minute and a half.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for checking out this episode of the Average Intelligence Podcast, which was exceptionally good. I was a little surprised. As always, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and check out our great sponsors. No pressure to buy anything, but I'm telling you, if you check them out, you're going to want to, because they're awesome. I am getting ready to take one of these bad boys myself, and I've got about 15, 20 minutes before I start getting heavy eyes. If you would rather listen heavy... If you would rather listen to the podcast as opposed to looking at us while we talk to you, it's okay. We do that too. We make it easy for you. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor FM, Audible, Amazon, all of the above. You can check us out there. Support the podcast directly or indirectly. Make sure to check out Stevie Wicks, School Beans Candle Company, our other proud sponsors, OMG CBD, and learn more about Hustlers University in the link below. You will not regret any of those things. Succeed. You don't have to go into politics to be a better person. Don't be like AOC. Stay out of government.
And with that, we bid you farewell.